Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean, and guess what? I'm with Steve Williams. Hello, Steve.
Good morning, Frank. How are you?
A friend, a fully fledged friend of the show.
Oh, he's totes friend of the show.
Well, more than a friend, really. Part of the team.
Yeah.
You can text us on 81215, by the way, or you can follow us on Twitter using Frank on Absolute.
Well done, Frank.
Cheers. I can now say the word Twitter without feeling like I've got dog mess in my mouth. It's an achievement. I think it's... Are you on Twitter, Steve?
I am on Twitter.
There you are.
But then I like dog mess.
What's your handle?
My handle...
Do they still say that?
They do.
No, because it's not CB Radio.
No, it's more or less. It is CB Radio, so people now are too lazy. They used to be too lazy to write, now they're too lazy to speak. Well, they do write, I suppose, to be fair. Carry on.
My handle is _Steve Williams _
Okay.
I've got a lot of underscores. Divine _ Miss _ M.
Mine's Frank Skinner, never knowingly underscored. I've stolen it from John Lewis.
Well, we've just had a tweet in from someone called John Lewis.
Have we really?
Yes.
That is... You see, people like Russell Grant are making a living out of that, whereas I can just do it as a throwaway, a psychic moment.
It's a gift.
Actually,
and a curse.
is Russell Grant making a living?
No.
I think I saw him sell himself the
He's
big
just buying
issue.
a lot of billowy Versace shirts.
I'd love to see him selling the big issue.
Russell Grant?
Yeah, let's face it, Russell
Just walk
Grant...
past him.
As
You
far as
didn't
I'm
see that
concerned, Russell Grant is the big issue. As far as the 21st century is concerned. What does John Lewis have to say?
Well, I'm worried about him because he's still got an egg avatar. Do you know what that is, Frank?
I do know what an egg avatar is, actually.
So, the egg avatar...
It's like on MySpace, it was the silhouette.
It was,
The
yeah.
head and shoulders silhouette. Oh, yeah, I'm not completely out the loop.
Oh, good boy. So, John Lewis with egg avatar says, Dear Frank, Alan... Oh, I'm sorry, Steve, it should be. And the unspeakably beautiful Emily. He said it, not me, Frank.
Can I ask?
He didn't say, because it was unspeakable.
Well, there you go.
Can I ask what led you to read this tweet out?
He says, because he was called John Lewis, Scouts still have woggles and we call them scarves, not neckers. So this is in reference to last week you were talking about.
That's not according to the Scouts I made. Are you suggesting, John, that they were bogus Scouts? I've been given a swimming badge by some sort of splinter group
Oh, that would be awful.
from the Scouts.
You been given a swimming badge?
Yeah.
Oh, well
What look
done.
at me like that for?
Well, you haven't got it sewn on your sleeve.
I've got it with me. Do you want to
Have
see
you?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, too
Do
right.
you know, often when I watch the swimming during the Olympics...
Can you just run the show for a bit while I get my
Yes,
swimming
I
badge
will.
out?
I was going to say, often when I watch the swimming during the Olympics, though, I think of Frank.
As this is radio, I'm going to give it a bit. There it is. Look at that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
it's lovely,
That's going
Frank.
straight on my
Lovely.
on my cheetah briefs. Well, I know I'm confused, John, because I met these Scouts and they said we don't have woggles anymore. We do friendship knots.
So they have neckerchiefs, but they're
Neckers, they call them.
neckers.
Well, not according to... I think get your story straight. That's what I'm saying to the Scout movement.
And sort your egg out.
I've said it to a few senior Scouts in my time, but that's when I was working in the legal business.
Yeah.
So anyway, here we are again, and we can't get round the fact there's an enormous sporting event going on in the
It's
country.
massive.
I have to say, I don't know how I filled my time before the Olympics.
Oh, it's glorious.
I
isn't
don't
it?
watch anything. I haven't watched another television programme.
There's no need. It's got it all, Frank.
Is it on other channels, or is it just
BBC?
The only time I flick channels is when someone like Gary Lineker says we're going over to BBC Two.
Yeah.
I'm chasing the BBC dragon.
Yeah.
I'm sure Claire Baldwin wouldn't mind me calling her that. But it's no, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and so many aspects. Did you cry last night when Rebecca didn't?
When she didn't win,
Yeah.
Oh, I felt for her.
it was emotional, wasn't it?
I
It
cried
really
when
was.
she took the cap off and the hair wasn't looking great. No, but it's true.
difficult if you've
I'm
been swimming
sorry.
now.
I know, but she should have left it on, gone back, got some product, popped back to the pool.
Have you been drinking out of Frankie Boyle's cup? Well, there's a great thing she said after her first one. She said swimming. She said it's a very, very difficult sport to medal at.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
And I thought use of the word medal as a
Yes.
verb I
Yes.
like a lot. And also, you know, she's had a lot of stick from comedians, but I salute her this morning for her clever use of ambiguity.
Yeah.
Because to meddle, but also to, you know, it's not a sport you want to just meddle in, you need to give it loving her. I think she could be the next poet laureate.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Yeah, so, the Olympics.
Yeah.
You've been, haven't you, Steve?
I've been to quite a few events, actually.
I've been to Hollywood.
Can I ask how you got tickets, Steve?
How did I get tickets? I bought them. I sort of queued online and bought them. Yeah.
You queued online?
Yeah. That's what us Twitter people do. We know our way around the ethers of the internet.
Yeah.
But I went and got tickets, went to the road race, the cycling, I'm going to
have to put you up on ethers.
Why?
What is that? Ether? What?
Ether just means, like, in the gaps.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right? Or is that unacceptable?
I'm totally happy with you. Hold on.
I want to know.
Oh, no, it's all right.
I want to know more about the road race.
Yeah, so you saw the road race?
Saw the road race? Yeah.
You don't have to pay to see the road race, do you?
No. You just stand on the side.
You just the road. The road belongs to all of us.
You stand on the street in Essex. You want to see the road race.
Exactly. But it doesn't go through there, but that would have been...
Okay. So which one? Did you do ladies or men's?
I did the men's. It was pretty exciting. So a 9-car pile-up. You know the cars that follow the cyclists?
If no one's hurt, I'm always delighted to see any road accident in which no one's hurt. It's one of the most exciting things you can see.
What are those cars that follow the cyclists? Get off! Get out of the way!
They're the
I hate
support
them.
team.
Oh, I don't like it. They're just trying to...
So the support team was in a 9-car pile-up?
Yeah, they all just went bang, 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 bang into each other, and then they all jumped out of their cars, shouted at each other in different languages, then all jumped back in their cars and drive off. It was fantastic to watch.
Did you catch that on your video?
I did, yeah, actually. Yeah.
And have you
Russell Grant in the house.
Have you put it on...
No.
You haven't?
Something should remain private, I think.
Well,
that's part of it.
I'm surprised that's one of them. Yes.
I also went to the horses, jumping over the fences. The show
you went
jumping.
to the horses?
Yeah.
Oh.
I see you're new to equestrian events.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went there, which is pretty exciting as well. Saw a horse, because... I mean, it's very rare you go to an event where...
You saw a horse? You must have been anticipated that.
But it's really exciting over in Greenwich, you know.
But what... They were jumping fences, were they? Was it one of those?
Was that
one
the one
horse?
Zara's
It was at the Silly Walks thing.
No, it's the ones where they jump... not the dressage.
Yeah.
Over the fences. And one of the horses was going to the toilet as it went over a fence. Now, if anyone deserved a medal...
If that had dropped on a crossbar... and it had come off, would that have still counted as a failure?
He's not a judge, Frank. He doesn't know.
But I can tell him I would have given it a round of applause. Because that would have been incredible, wouldn't it, to see?
Yeah, but what about... If when that horse had gone over, the dropping had landed on top of the fence and stayed there, then arguably the next horse had to jump slightly higher to clear it. If you let that carry on, by the time the last horse goes... well, he's jumping over the shard.
And
a pile of shard. That's what he's jumping over.
Frank, 437.
Yes.
Frank, has the Olympics been popular in the S&M community?
Well, I think the weight training, I think that they love a tight leather belt. I haven't really, to be honest, I've been so Olympic involved I haven't spoken to any of my colleagues in the S&M community since last weekend. We got a mixed reception to the opening ceremony from some. But I'll check up on that because, I'm enjoying it.
have you been to any events?
What, in the S&M community? Thousands. Oh, have I been to it? No, I'm going tomorrow.
What are you going to?
I'm going to the stadium tomorrow. Men's 100 metres final.
And
the
big one.
The big
Well, you say the big one, but...
It is the big one.
For all this
but
stuff
don't go to the bathroom, it'll be over.
No, I know that. It usually is when I go to the bathroom. But I did think that was the big one, but now I've realised that I'm completely... Although I'm loving the Olympics, I haven't really entered into the Olympic spirit in as much as if Britain aren't in it, I'm not that interested.
Oh, really?
Frank.
It's... Once we got a goal, that's it then. I'm greedy. I'm greedy for more. Oh. So, yeah, I'm very much like that. But there's been...
so you're not looking forward to it? The fastest
Oh, God, no, of course
runners.
I'm looking forward to the whole being there.
Is there a British man in the 100 metres?
Well, they haven't had the... This is turning into 5 Live. If it turns into 5 Live, I shall have to take my own life.
5 Five Live.
Because Five Live, let us never forget, is Radio 4 for Dave Swift in the sales department. So, look, what we're going to do now, we're just going to have a small break, and I'm going to have a huddle, and I'm going to get this team back together, and we're going to go back to being what I think has made us the third best entertainment show in the country, officially. We're
so Adlington now.
Yeah, we are. We're bronze.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you've been bronze for quite a long time. I wasn't going to mention it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
I've been so impressed by so many people this week, and Victoria Pendleton. I only recently learned to ride. Oh, I haven't really learned. I'm learning to ride a bike, I would say.
Really?
So I watched Victoria Pendleton.
What did you do in your youth if you didn't swim and ride bikes?
Heroin. What? Yeah, you'd think I'd be a good swimmer. I watched that and I thought. The fast stuff, I thought, that was quite impressive. Cycling very fast and coming first. It's good. But when she then cycled with her hands in the air, I thought that's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life. Have another medal for that. Just for that. Didn't wobble or anything.
It's incredible.
Oh, brilliant.
But it has been amazing. Like, I went to... I've been to the football as well. I sound like I'm bragging. Been to Team GB.
Every time we speak, he leaks another event he's been to.
Yeah, and the
you're like one of those cat feeders when you go away for the weekend. It just gives a little bit of food at a time, not the whole lump.
I suspect foul play, but let's leave it then.
What do you think's gone on?
Well, I don't know, he's gone to too many. How can you get that many tickets?
Oh, yes.
Oh, come on.
He's got connections.
Oh, yeah.
His friend, Mr. Tom Bowler. And with the equestrian events, his friend, Mr. Jim Carner. If you get my meaning. Very good in the Rockford Files, of course. So, you went to the football?
Went to the football, which was amazing, seeing Team GB
I hate the football. I must say, I've loved the Olympics. I can't watch the football team.
Yes, I know what you mean, Frank.
Why not?
Well, they're all under 23 for a start.
Well, not all of them.
Why is that a problem?
3 of them aren't, or something.
I have no interest. I can't get into it at all. Great Britain football team. Forget about it.
Oh, you could be... It's such a brilliant atmosphere.
I love the Olympics. I'm loving everything. I'm watching sports I didn't know existed. I'm watching archery and stuff like that, but...
You knew archery existed.
I knew it existed, but only in Robin Hood films.
That's what they should do in the final, the silver medal.
I have to put Clanad on when I'm watching the archery for it to really work for me. So, why not? You went to the football.
Went to the football and the beach volleyball, and incredibly...
Oh, hold on, it slipped in another one. Little bit more for Tiddles. Little bit more food coming out.
And it's incredible, and... At both events, they did the Mexican wave, right? Which is like, what do you mean? Oh, no. What's cranky guts this morning?
No, come on. I think most.
Frank doesn't like the Mexican wave.
Why don't you like the Mexican wave?
I think most non-idiots don't like the Mexican wave.
People that do the Mexican wave are the sort of people that would call Frank a ledge. If I'm honest.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I think they're the sort of people, and I know this is a comparison I sometimes make, they are the sort of people who constituted the rise of Nazi Germany. Not just because they stand up and put their hands in the air, I don't mean that, but if you don't, this is what I'm talking about, if you don't Mexican wave, there's a sense of mob intimidation. You know, ooh, if you don't get up. Sometimes it will go to a whole section, they don't get up, woo, go the crowd. That is what I mean, that Nazi Germany. You have to join in with us, no matter how juvenile our behaviour.
Oh,
carry on, Steve, anyway, with your love of the Mexican wave. I'm interested.
The Mexican wave's a thing of beauty.
No, it isn't.
Oh, come on. Everybody working together for one common goal?
This is Nazi Germany.
Wasn't that their motto?
Yeah. I think they made the trains run on time. Was that Mussolini? Anyway, so you went. Actually, they do a new one. Don't they do a slow-mo version?
They've been doing slow-mo ones at the volleyball, which is another event I went to.
Yeah, you've already mentioned it.
Yeah.
No, beach volleyball, and this was volleyball at Earl's Court. I went to both.
Are you on the BBC commentary team?
Are you having an affair with Danny Boyle? What's wrong with you?
But they do. He's a bit old.
What, for Danny Boyle?
Yeah.
Gone off him now.
I'd like to have been at that opening ceremony.
Frank.
Sorry.
I've gone off Danny Ball, I'm just putting that out there.
What, just because he has a younger girlfriend? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't like the timing of the split with the wife. It coincided with his success in Hollywood, and I don't like it.
Whoops.
Over to you, Steve.
There goes the knighthood. Okay, carry on.
But they do a slow one. Yeah, you're right. They do a slow one, and I just think it's something everyone can get involved in. I mean, they only ever last 3 circuits of the stadium.
Do they?
Yeah. Have you never? Honestly, at both events, all 3 events I went to where they did one, the first lap is like, you said, all the idiots going, "Whee." Second lap is all the middle class people going, this could be a bit of fun. Hold my olives, Nigel. Whee. And the third lap is everyone in Britain going.
Was that homophobia? I couldn't quite work it out. Carry on.
No, he was there with Nigel Planer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that must have been great. All the impressions coming out.
You haven't dusted that one down for some years.
Hold on, I'm waiting for the third one. Come on.
And the third one is just where everyone goes, well, can we stop this now? It's not as much fun as I first thought, you know?
Yeah.
But it has a lifespan of 3 circuits, and if you can't do that, I mean, come on. Didn't you see Cameron did it this week in a suit?
Oh, well, that's really made me like I want to do it. Because I want to be like David Cameron more than anything in my life.
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So how many tickets did you get in total, Steve?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I went to
Did
5...
you say me?
Well, I went to 5 events, 6 tickets each event, and that's...
So you got 30 tickets?
30 tickets, yeah.
But something not right. It's
What
not
about all
quite
these
right.
people I've met who said they couldn't get any tickets at all? How
Yeah,
did
like
that work
me. My connections.
Well, they weren't like what do you call marquee events. That's for Frank's going to like the biggies.
Marquee event?
Yeah, these were like the
It's not the lead singer with the 4. Well, did you see Boris, by the way? Boris Johnson on the stuck on the zip wire.
Oh, yeah.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
I have to say, I think after a long time, I'm finally caving in on Boris Johnson.
Oh, you're a thing of beauty.
I am starting to like him.
He's beautiful.
And I've really tried not to like him, but I've decided he's irresistible.
He is.
Because even hanging from the wire, he handled quite well.
With his 2 little Union Jacks.
Can I just say, what happened to his body on that wire? Because he was wearing a cheap suit, which he shouldn't do with harness. But it gave him, when he only got stuck in the middle,
Yeah.
it gave him a sort of weird codpiece thing. His suit was all
No, he always wears a
bunched up.
codpiece.
I didn't like his little legs dangling like a dog in shoes. It made me feel a bit ill.
Oh, I love a dog in shoes. I love a dog raised by its armpits in order to make it dance. The delicate toe against floor thing, especially on linoleum, so you get the nails. Oh, man, it's so beautiful. But no, I just thought if Ed Miliband was stuck on a zip wire, I think he'd actually wee. And imagine that shot on YouTube. Whereas Boris just took it in his stride.
He did say something very middle class.
What did he say?
He went, "Ici nous allons," when he got moving again.
Oh, he did, yeah. What does that mean?
It's like, here we go.
Brilliant.
That's how the French say, here we go.
Because he did study classics as well at
there you go.
Oxford, which is surely that's a good thing for a leader. So it also reminded me. I don't know. I've probably seen over in my long life probably, I'd say nearly 100,000 cartoons in newspapers and magazines. I've seen 2 funny ones. One of them is the famous, I think it's Bill Tidy, when it's a queue of people finding out information about the Titanic, the families of the survivors. And at the back of the queue, there's a polar bear saying any news on the iceberg. That is a good joke.
Yeah, that is.
But there is one other I saw which has received no publicity, and it was a man hanging from by his fingertips from a second-storey windowsill, and on the floor below him is a ladder, and he's carrying a paint pot in his free hand.
Okay.
And there's a splatter of paint down the wall. So he's dangling by his fingertips from the windowsill. And there's a man standing at the garden fence saying, "What kind of a favour?" And I thought, that is a truly brilliant... but there are none, anyway. But it did remind me... it's true, though. It's the easiest job. If you can draw... It's the easiest job in the world.
What do you mean, if you can draw, it's the easiest job? That's like saying, if you can fire arrows, archery's the easiest job.
No, because it's supposed to be a drawing and a joke, is the way it's supposed to work. But what it is, all newspaper cartoons are drawing without comedy at all. Just saying that. I don't know why they exist. You must have read strips and thought, hello, why?
Handicap. He's getting his rest in.
I mean, I like Handicap for his profound working classness, but he wasn't, looking back.
I like Handicap.
Looking back, he wasn't very funny. I don't think. So you think you actually weren't in the country?
I actually wasn't in the country. I was in Florida.
Ooh.
So what was quite weird... But it meant it was quite weird watching the Olympics through the sort of slightly refracted prism of there was a sort of American spin on everything. So you'd be just thinking, oh great, I can watch Bradley, but they'd cut from something like the Bradley Wiggins race. And they'd go, we're just going to go over to the men's water polo now with Casey Schroeder. You're like, hang on a second, you can't do this. It's so weighted in
Well, I
terms
suppose
of
every country does it. We do it, don't we?
Of course
Yeah,
we
but
do.
Frank, I hate that they keep saying this. Why do they say USA? We don't say GB. Why do they say that?
Do they say
Yes,
USA?
they say USA. USA. It's horrible.
I didn't know that.
It's a bit Nuremberg. I don't like it.
I don't think I've ever been prouder to be British than I was at one point this week when honestly I thought, oh man, I love this country.
What
and that
happened?
was when they booed those badminton players for
Yes.
hitting the ball. You never hear that level of booing at the Olympics, and it was the British thinking this isn't fair, and I loved that.
Yeah, but Frank...
I think it's more the British thinking I paid £18 to get in.
I feel
you have
sorry
to
for those
spoil it.
badminton players.
That's because you're Welsh, you
do
don't
you
feel
know,
part of it, let's face it. You're all trying to get your independence.
my
Oh,
God.
Frank.
You've forgotten what
Yeah.
a lovely, close family Great Britain
Where
is.
was your captain when we needed him, eh?
Ryan Giggs.
Yeah.
Scoring
Frank,
goals.
Don't ask that question. Never ask that question. What was you saying?
do you know one of those badminton players? That's my favourite thing that's happened in the Olympics. But do you know Yu Yang?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yu Yang, she's now retired. She's actually quit.
Yeah.
But do you like what she said? She said, farewell, dear badminton.
That is lovely. But they were so... It's funny they cheated a bit. There was Italian footballers in the crowd thinking, this is rubbish cheating. What kind of cheating is this?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Very nice.
We better leave the Olympics alone there, because people who don't like the Olympics, well, they'll have... I think they've taken leave of the country, have they not?
I'll have no truck with them.
It is everywhere. Although last weekend I went to a wedding and it didn't penetrate that at all. There's nothing... Which was quite nice to sort of get away from it all for a little bit. Although I did see I got really angry for a reason. I don't know why, really. There was a guy there in a suit.
Yeah, that. Again, you were shocked to see horses at the equestrian event, and now it's a man in a suit at a wedding. What's going on?
Yeah,
and that flower thing, what was all that about?
Yeah, but Frank, in Wales, sometimes they might wear a football replica shirt or something. I'm just saying.
well, the groom, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a guy in a suit, but he was wearing sunglasses with his suit, which I thought was
Not in the chapel.
in the church.
No.
And he was wearing sunglasses with a... Now, I got really annoyed because, you know...
And also that Labrador he had with him. I mean, who takes that to him? Oh. So he wasn't... He didn't have any kind of sighting problems.
No, he wasn't famous, he didn't have any sight problems, you know,
I love he wasn't famous. He wasn't even a celebrity. No person, is he?
If someone's a celebrity...
Was there a shaft of light coming through the stained glass right onto his face?
No.
Okay. He was just a... Yeah.
He was just a normal person, you know.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't believe that he wore them inside. I just thought it was outrageous. And I thought, I got really wound up with it, and I wanted to sort of flick him off his head. But, you know,
would
from
have
the
been
back,
good. That
from the
would have
back
been a good
there.
thing to do. Were they sunglasses proper or...
No, they were sports ones.
No.
They were those sporty Oakley ones. You know those Oaklly ones, which, you know, obviously...
Oh, yeah, no, I know them. I just haven't seen them since 1996.
No, that's... I think you find that's Badil and Skinner.
But,
No, I hate a sunglasses inside thing. It's ridiculous.
yeah, and I just found myself getting so sort of wound up.
I didn't think you were a man who had that kind of in a rage, Steve.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I see, like, diced chicken or grated cheese, it drives you mad. Little things, tiny things.
Oh, hold on. Grated cheese drives you mad.
You know when you buy pre-grated cheese?
Oh, yeah.
Pre-grated.
You don't like that?
Oh, it drives you mad. How can you not hate that? Surely, if you can't work a grater, you've got bigger problems.
But, I tend to buy my cars already assembled. Why not buy my food disassembled?
Yeah.
That's this week's texting.
What if you're cash rich, time poor? I'm just saying. Then that comes in very useful.
Cash rich, time poor.
No.
Excellent stuff. I'll tell you what if we're going to talk about things we hate and we don't know why, what really, I really, really have got angry about, and that's the £2 coin.
£2 coin?
Why, Frank?
Because how long's it been around, the £2 coin?
Ooh.
Exactly, we don't know the answer, but it's, for me, in my pocket, it's never fully integrated with the other coins. I still don't really see it.
Well, it's 2 coins, it's 2 colours, it's like...
I hate the 2 colours thing.
Why?
The brass on it looks like a slice of Arctic roll. The brass on the outside, make your mind up, pick a colour, and stick with it, that's what I'd say. No, but it's too ornate.
I know what you mean.
The fiddly... Yeah, it's
a bit Game of Thrones money,
it's
isn't
baroque. It's baroque. I'll go as far as to say that. There's people at home thinking, what, it's some sort of health drink? No! It's too ornate.
Yeah.
See what you've started me on it now, on the £2 coin thing? If I get any, I'll give them to the homeless.
It's less coin, more medallion.
Yeah. Do I give them to the homeless or do I throw them? No, I throw them away. Sorry, I couldn't remember which one it was. I don't want to. If a homeless person held one of those, it would be wrong, wouldn't it?
A £2 coin?
Yeah. Because they're flash. They're all about flash. Whereas it seems to be saying, this is what you're missing out on. Oh, God. Music? Music or resignation? Can't make my mind up.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Steve Williams, and you can text us on 81215 and you can follow us on Twitter using @Frank on Absolute.
We've had some texts in, Frank.
You have, I haven't.
Irrational hatreds.
Oh, irrational hatreds, of course.
We have. We've had one from 437. I hate Crocs. Please back me up here, Emily. And pigeons...
I'll back you up.
And pigeons eating sick, too.
Yeah. I wonder if there's anyone out there who thinks, I tell you what I love. Pigeons eating sick. It's one of my favourites. Yeah, Daisy, our producer, doesn't like Crocs. No?
Why don't you like Crocs?
She's folding her arms like Les Dawson face.
Don't even mention Crocs.
What's wrong with Crocs, Emily?
What's right with them?
Oh,
easy to put on.
Surely when they've got a light-hearted button badge or two, doesn't that lift a Croc?
That's my worst thing ever.
Oh, is it?
I can't bear them. I don't like a comedy. I don't want my clothes to be comical or light-hearted.
I like into comedy.
I don't.
My clothes. Hence this blue crushed velvet catsuit I'm wearing this morning. A bit tighter than I remembered, I have to say. I suppose I put a bit of dad fat on.
Frank 376, whilst we're on the subject of shoes, I hate it when you see price labels on new shoes.
On the bottom of shoes?
When I see them on people walking in front of me, it gives me the shivers.
Well, you should join the Roman Catholic Church. Because when we all go down to kneel, sometimes I'll see 3 price tags in the same row. Yeah. Often bargain ones. You know when you get like the 9th label on, as the price has steadily gone down. It's becoming almost a platform soul of price tags. He said one of the few disadvantages of being a Roman Catholic, I would say. Still, if you're going to get into heaven, I suppose it's a small price to pay. Nice. And relax.
There you go, heaven on Absolute Radio. Frank, did you have a posh do this week?
I did.
How was it? You've been quite mysterious about this. What is it?
Well, I went to a do that was so posh that you had to take a picture identification.
What?
Passport?
To prove it was you.
Oh, that counts me out then.
Yeah, so it was...
have you got no picture ID?
No, I'm just saying I don't like taking passports.
All right.
Tanya Snoggs, our own Tanya Snoggs, was... We had a terrible moment. Considering we were absolute colleagues, we had a terrible moment when we were separated by the velvet rope. the velvet rope of fame. So I was on the red carpet and she was just outside it with a microphone.
Did you hold out a hand for like the end of Titanic?
It was like that. It was like that moment when Leo and Kate got together, not in the car, but just generally in first class.
Oh, that's a
And it was
shame.
absolute snogsy, by the way. That's her Twitter now. I don't hold that against her. So that was a lovely moment. But I was on my way in, and she was on her way home. But
It's not right.
no, it's
I
not
like
right.
the way I was on my way in, didn't even turn back.
No, there's no turning. There's no turning back. It was like Dick Whittington. I had to keep going.
But it's embarrassing that she saw you. She was in the Muggles pen. You know.
No, I won't have that said about Tanya. She looked perfectly.
No, I love Tanya.
She
but...
looked perfectly happy.
Okay.
Yes. So the way a cat does when you're putting it in the sack, doesn't know what. So anyway, so I went past. So I felt I'd already broken my absolute colleague code by going in. But well, I can't. I mean, David Cameron was there.
What?
Wow.
David Cameron gave a speech.
Really?
There. He didn't like to go anywhere and not give a speech.
Nice.
Was it David
It was an
Baddiel's
informal
50th?
barbecue. No, it wasn't. He just got up and did a speech anyway. Yeah, all right, David. Sit down now. And I think the British people, yes. No, he did. I'm not a fan of. I mean, you know, you have to be apolitical when you're on Absolute. But I vote Labour, and
Me too.
I'm not a fan of.
That's not a joke. I do.
No.
People never believe it of me because
No,
they
I don't.
assume I'm right wing, but I do.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just putting it out there. I like people to know.
Well,
Carry on,
anyway,
Frank.
but I hate the fact that he's quite good at it. His speech was quite good.
Really?
And I thought,
Was it?
Don't be good.
What was he talking
You know,
about?
like when I met Chris de Burgh in the pits at Silverstone, and he was nice.
When I
thought-
met Christopher in the pits.
I thought, don't be nice. I don't want you to be nice. I want you to be and he isn't. He was lovely, Chris de Burgh. So, and then there was a guest. Can you believe that David Cameron, the Prime Minister, was there, and there was a guest that was even higher profile than
When
that?
are we going to find out what it is?
After I play this magnificent music.
Oh.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So I'm at this party, and the Duchess of Cambridge is there.
Shut up.
Yeah. Thank you. So, it's the most towy this show has ever gone. Yeah, she's there. And, Kate was there.
OMG.
So I've never seen her in the flesh before. And I didn't think I
What
was
did
going to
you
get to see. Well, what they suddenly separated the crowd like Moses at the Red Sea. And
He wasn't there as well.
he wasn't there. I think he was due to comedy, pulled out the last minute.
No,
I
it was
think
David Baddiel.
I think he had tickets for the weightlifting. But anyway, so they parted the crowd and to make way for her to come through. So through
Wow.
comes. I still think of her as Kate Middleton, but she's officially obviously the Duchess of Cambridge. And I've always thought she looked.
Beautiful.
She did look beautiful, but she looked like a beautiful Oriental woman.
Did she?
She looked very.
Really?
I could easily imagine her throwing a badminton game. No, she really did.
You
look,
yang?
Yeah, I was. I don't know if she'd just done it for the night, for a lark. But you know, I suppose Harry goes as the German to the thingy party. She thought, what if I just go in a kind of a Susie Wong type?
What was the dress like, Frank? Did you notice it?
It was
Oh, don't just say a colour, please.
grey.
Oh.
I don't know what. I didn't look for the label. It's not the sort of woman you can reach down the back of the neck.
Well, this is true.
I mean, I could have been shot.
Yeah.
But it was quite exciting.
Was she jaw-droppingly beautiful?
No.
Oh.
Well, I was watching there was a public display of affection with her and William this week when he grabbed her.
Yes.
At the velodrome.
Now, that was a great moment because, without wishing to sound seedy, as he grabbed her around the waist, he sort of forced an impromptu crop top on.
Yeah.
No, she knew what she was doing, Frank.
Oh, do you
Can I
think
just say,
so?
'cause I've done that
Whoa.
at
Do
major
you think she was
sporting
whispering,
events.
bare my stomach?
Frank, at major sporting events, I've intentionally gone just a little size too small, and then when you reach up for the celebration, a little bit of exposure will happen.
Yeah.
A nice bit of attention. She knew what she was doing.
There's a lot of blokes that at the Hawthorns. I wish they wouldn't. Luckily, Celebration will be at a premium this season, I would have thought. So, Anyway, so that was very exciting. And the great thing was, as she went past, I was standing with Gary Kemp and Michelle Ryan.
Oh, really?
As if the three
Can I
of
be honest, now it's gone down a bit.
Well, I think the three of us
No, I'm sorry, Frank.
we were placed to represent celebrity past. like a
Ghosts of
screw.
celebrity past.
Yeah, exactly. But, we joined hands and looked mournful. They actually powdered us slightly to look spectral. So, that was it. But... So then, I'm looking, because it's at the Royal Academy, so there's art on the wall, so I thought,
lovely.
I can't stand here looking at... I spoke to Andrew Marr and all that.
Oh, did he arrive in that little car? Lovely.
He spoke to me like a Catholic priest speaks to a person when they're leaving church. He speaks to you with the handshake on one hand, but the other hand on the shoulder, moving you along. It's nice to see you, Frank, for 30 seconds. He had that kind of... But, it's fair enough, he's a busy man. But... I was looking at some art on the wall, and then you'll never guess who I met next.
Oh my God, who?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So I'm looking at this art in the Royal Academy, and I'm looking at some Tracy Emin drawings.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then I look over to the left, and there's Tracy Emin.
Oh, wow.
Shut up.
Yeah, so...
Shut up, Frank.
So Tracy Emin, you may not know, Steve, has texted the show a few times.
Oh, right, okay.
And
She's a friend of the show.
she is
Frank.
officially a friend of the show. I'm half a mind to play the jingle.
Oh, go on.
Well, I will if I can find it.
We love a bit of Trace, we do.
I can't find it.
There's nothing
One
like
of
a
our
pre-jingle
faves.
tension.
Anyway, she's a friend. So we went over and we embraced
Oh,
nice.
and chatted and it was great. And she was very lovely and very nice about the show. Although she did say, what I like about it, she said, because sometimes it's not funny for ages. and I thought we're not going to get on. We're really not going to get on. And she said, and then it gets really, really funny. And I thought, well, okay, fair enough. I'll settle for
I
that.
like her honesty.
I didn't like that particular
Did you
aspect
not?
of it. No, all I want to hear is brilliant.
Okay.
I keep telling people that. I keep telling Kath. I don't want criticism. I want just that was brilliant, even if it's rubbish. So we dined out. We had fish and chips in a posh restaurant.
Oh, did you?
I was with
You and Trace?
and my girlfriend's sister, who is the only woman now that my girlfriend will allow me to date. She's not available, and it was fab. And I'll tell you what, we were talking about jokes.
Yeah.
And Tracy told us a joke, and you may have heard this. I think
Go
it's
on.
a really fine joke, and not only that, but it was a springboard for a whole joke-based conversation, which
Yeah.
I want to share with you. So she said to me, so you may have heard this. I hadn't heard it before. What did the 0 say to the 8?
Yeah.
Do you know it?
No.
I do know it, yeah.
Okay. So what is it, Steve?
It's nice belt.
Nice belt.
What did the 0 say to the 8? Oh, I understand it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tracy said she'd built on this, so she developed. What did the 8 say to the 0?
What?
Where's your belt? So of course I thought I can't let an artist beat me at my own game. I'm not sitting here doodling saying what do you think of that. So then I had to go and she was very disapproved. Mine was what did the 8 say to the Scandinavian 0? Well, have you been in a beauty contest? Because he's got a sort of a sash, like...
It's quite complex, though.
It is
Frank.
quite... I mean, that's what she said.
I'm not being rude, but it requires a lot of knowledge.
No, I know, she was all right with that one. She was very anti my next one, which was what did the 8 say to the Continental 7? That belt's too big for you. So it went on. So I think we can fairly say that she won on the jokes front.
I think I'd say that.
But I'm still working on it. I lay in bed that night doing it with, I thought, letters. I can use letters. Why stop at numbers?
Of course.
This time next week I'll be using Tibetan hieroglyphics. If there is such a thing.
I'm glad you had dinner with Trace.
It was smashing because we were like pen pals before.
What an incredible party, though, that all those people are there.
Yeah.
An array of people.
And Nick Rhodes was there.
Oh, nice.
So,
Too much powder, Nick Rhodes.
do you think?
On his face, I mean. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was one of your old colleagues from the 90s. I don't know, he still looked pretty good to me.
Did he? Oh.
He looked good. I'll tell you what he wasn't as good as.
What?
He wasn't as good as this.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, I think it might be time for... Email Corner.
What a jingle!
Yeah,
I'd love to think that's you playing that.
that was made by one of our listeners.
Was
No,
it?
Yeah.
it was recorded by Frank, don't lie, with George Harrison. And they were in Rishikesh.
Yeah.
Street.
They'd gone to Rishikesh for a couple of weeks. Frank, don't lie.
Just after I burgled his house. Do you remember when he got burgled? Oh, that was a terrible man. And he said...
Oh, dear.
He said something like the idea was he didn't want him to know it was George Harrison. He said when he shouted Hare Krishna. George gave the game away completely. So we get emails in the week, you see, from our listeners, because it's like 2020 cricket versus the 5-day Test match. Some people they text in, it's bang, it's instant.
Yes.
Some people they like to let a thought marinate.
We do. Well,
Par exemple.
we'll kick off Email Corner with some correspondence from Dr. Louis Amon.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
I worried it was an email scam. when
He'd
I
be a
read
very
that.
confusing person to play tick with.
He says, Dear Frank,
I'm on.
in April, you were talking about an origami structure called Uranashi fortune teller.
I didn't call it that. What I was on about is those things you have at school. It looks like a floral, like a paper
yes.
flower, and you put like favourite colour, and by the time you get
Yes.
into the depths of it, it's who you're going to go out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But someone said to us it was a chatterbox. I think someone texting that's what it's called, because I never had a name for it.
Oh, I see. Well, he's saying some people call it a chatterbox, but it is not, and it is called Uranashi.
That'd have taken the fun out of it at school, though, wouldn't it?
So when you hear people say, I could do with a urination, they mean... yes. Well, I never knew that.
That's from Dr. Louis Amon.
We also had another email, Frank. Dear Frank, thought I'd tell you about my new OOC, Olympic Obscure Crush.
Can I just say something before you go on to this? Is that surely origami
Yes.
is one thing you can't do with origami is draw on the thing. The whole thing is that it's done just by the paper, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So once you start writing on the fortune teller, you've kind of killed the origami element, haven't you? You know, have you ever seen a balloon modeller who'll do a balloon and then suddenly get a felt pen out and draw a face on it? I think, no.
You're a
need to do
purist.
it. You need to do that in some sort of balloon-based way. Don't just
Yeah.
write a face. I could get a balloon and draw Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead on it. Have I balloon modelled Jesus raising Lazarus? No. Okay, just want to make that point. Come on, Doctor Amon. Amon.
Yeah, and the email about someone to tell you about their new Olympic Obscure Crush.
Oh yes, I saw this one.
I don't know whether it's the skills that appeal, but I wonder if any of you had found this phenomenon occurring during the Olympics. Have you fancied anyone? during the
Who is their crush though?
Oh, he's called,
called
Jacob Wookie.
Jacob Wookie,
Yes.
and he's an archer. He's an American archer.
She does say, I know he looks a bit weird, but definitely a bit of hillbilly chic.
Well, there is a bit of hillbilly shit, but I looked up Jacob Wookie.
So, Frank, well done. And
Yes.
what do you think?
Well, let me put it
Lovely.
this way. I looked at his Facebook page, and
Look at
he's
his Facebook.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit personal. Why don't you look at his Facebook? Frank?
Just in case you think he's the sort of person you want to go out
Facebook.
with, can I say he's a member of Campus Campaign for Christ. I mean, I personally follow the Nazarene, but I'm already frightened. He supports wolf hunting in Idaho, Montana and Wyoming.
Whoa.
And when it says books that you read, it says the Bible. And other than that, I don't.
Do you know, Frank, I can see that bloodhound peering out of that pickup truck already.
Well, you say that. I can see the noose being made at home. And then... even worse, favourite music, he says, and he says, you play it, I'll listen to it. Now, it's that kind of attitude that started Magic FM.
Absolute
Absolute.
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, yeah, I think we are still in the very midst of email corner. It's beautiful. There's no other word for it. Yeah, we were talking about Jacob Wookie.
Jacob Wookie.
Who was someone's obscure Olympic
Who we've
crush.
established could be a dangerous
Who actually
individual.
looks... Can I say, who sent us that?
That was from... was she put her name, actually, Steve?
Well, anyway,
She sensibly remained anonymous.
if you're listening, I think Jacob Wookie, the archer, looks a bit like the captain, Ali Carter. Do you know Ali Carter, the snooker player?
No.
So I'm doing a sort of an Amazon. People who bought this also bought. So if you like Jacob Wookie, you'll also like Ali Carter, called the captain because he's got a flying licence.
So,
really?
using that same principle then, if I like, which I do, he's not really obscure. He's the new one, which is Ryan Lochte, who's my favourite. Are you familiar
Swimmer.
with his work? Oh my God.
OMG.
Have you seen the man? He was the one that the mother came out and said, my son doesn't have time for relationships, he just has one-night stands.
Oh, dear.
And then she had to apologise the next day and said, I did not know what that meant. I thought that meant dating. It was a terrible thing.
That's possible. The accent makes you think, you might not have known what it meant.
I've also got my eye on Liam Tancock. Lovely.
Hold on, I'm just biting my tongue.
What's his name?
And it's gone. I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's very easy on the eye. He does a great backstroke.
Oh, he's another swimmer.
Lovely.
They're all swimmers.
I know.
They're too long, swimmers. Too long.
That's not true.
Too broad of a shoulder.
The German gymnast, Philip Boy. Love him.
I don't want to be in bed with someone who sleeps vertically. Not vertically, What's the word when you go from one corner to another?
Diagonally?
Diagonally. Thanks very much for that.
Sarah the Poisoner.
Sorry if there's any geometricians listening.
Sarah the Poisoner has just admitted that she's got a thing for Phelpsy, which I find extraordinary.
Phelpsy.
Yes.
He's so last year. Yeah, you see, the swimmers all look pretty much the same, don't they? They're all very, very long and lean.
Then all Olympic athletes are, aren't they? I went to the volleyball.
There's some big ones in there. I was watching one of our shot putter blokes yesterday.
He'd be nice for me.
He was a large gentleman.
I like the shot put.
Is that your obscure Olympic
if you had
crush?
a fight with him, he could throw your handbag the length of the room.
Oh, fine. They look lovely in a belt as well.
Nice belt.
I like the weightlifting belts. Frank, we've had another email.
I'm loving it. They're flowing in.
This is from Trevor.
Oh, okay.
He says, "Hi Frank, I had an idiotic eureka moment listening to your show."
And that's when you don't get something which a lot of people get. But, I don't mean like smallpox. I mean the fact that Sooty and Sweep are punning names on the whole chimney sweeping phenomenon.
Okay.
A listener was talking about, I've saved him here. What he actually said was, a listener said about movie spoiler titles, and I'm changing it to a listener was talking about movie spoiler titles.
Good.
And brought up the Dam Busters. I had no idea the film was called that because they bust the dam. I did think it was the name of the plane. I feel so stupid. If Emily is ever in the Kent area and fancies hanging out with the sexiest man in Kent,
It's
give me a
another
bell.
one of those. It's another night's move. We get a lot of these, Steve. People get the point. This was a thing about how film titles can either give the game away or mislead you. For example, The Lady Killers don't.
Yeah.
But then we get some emails that are talking about something like you might say, "Oh, lovely day today," and I've always loved you. It's like that. It's like that.
Can I just say, I've now had offers from Birmingham, Edinburgh, and the Kent area.
Oh,
Are you thinking about doing a
it's like being
tour?
the one show. Shouldn't you get photos of them stuck onto card with slight bobbling, which is what they do
it's
on the
like
one
getting
show?
University offers, isn't it?
It is.
Those are my 3 offers at the moment:
And this man
Edinburgh,
is-
Birmingham, and Kent.
He's the exactly. Have you filled in your rocker?
How dare you?
He's officially the sexiest man in Kent.
I'm
Is that
going to
right?
Google him.
But is that official title, or is that something he's made up?
I don't know.
He's given that to himself, surely.
We're back to the satin sash, aren't we? I think he's got a satin sash on the back of a chair. Sexiest man in
Hey,
Kent.
Steve, Google Trevor, sexiest man in Kent.
If you cared about this show, you'd go and see all these people and then tell us about the dates. You'd give of yourself, that's all I'm saying.
Frank, I think it's now time for what I call Lagerfeld Corner.
Oh, yes. Now, the last time we had a Karl Lagerfeld discussion, he was doing something with his cat, wasn't he?
Yeah,
She's claiming his cat could operate an iPad.
Karl Lagerfeld is essentially almost a friend of the show now. We talk about him so often on this show.
I can't say I warm to him.
No,
in case you don't know,
I rather love him.
He's the fashion designer. Is he a designer?
Yes, he's got his own label, and he's also the creative director of Chanel.
Yeah, and he looks like Billy Idol's corpse.
I love him.
It's all right. Well, I love Billy Idol, dead or alive.
But he's now.
I think Russell Brand will become Karl Lagerfeld. I do, but carry on.
The thing about Karl is he's not one to mince his words.
No. Which is more than I can say for his walk. Carry on.
He's now come out talking about the Middleton sisters. He's discussing Pippa and Kate.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it turns out he's a huge fan of Kate. He says she is the right girl for that boy.
Yes, that boy.
boy.
Prince William.
Brilliant, yeah.
He says, I like that kind of woman. I like romantic beauties.
He said she got a great silhouette.
Lovely silhouette. I would agree with that.
What?
I use that term unironically.
A great
as well.
silhouette.
Lovely
Yeah,
silhouette.
I think it means like a nice figure.
Yes, it does. That's what you call it. It's a fashion term.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Great silhouette.
I thought he was looking at her shadow. What a lovely shadow she casts.
Yeah, he's very shy, man. He can't look him in the eye. Yeah. I never even noticed her shadow the other night. What a fool I was.
Vampire.
Yeah.
Then he said of Pippa, then he turned, Frank. Karl's turned.
No, I thought it was
I tell you what he said. He said, on the other hand, her sister struggles.
Yeah, that is...
love the concept of struggling with your look. Should we just start saying that? John Sargent, he struggles.
I think he's given up. Pippa Schooling
struggles, Frank.
She's a bit of a national institution, isn't she?
She's
beloved.
She's a lovely looking woman, surely.
Yeah,
Karl says, I don't like the sister's face. She should only show her back.
Now, as there's many things wrong with that. What he said. For a start off, I think she's got a very, very interesting face, Pippa Middleton.
If anyone says that about me, I'll shoot myself.
No, but apart from the fact that it's generally...
I will absolutely shoot myself.
It's generally beautiful, but I don't know if you ever noticed this, but she has a very happy lower part of her face, whereas her eyes always look like she could cry at any moment.
Oh, sad eyes.
And it's a great combination. If you can imagine someone had like a stable door, say two neighbours had ordered their stable doors to be painted, one with a happy face and one with a sad face, and the doors had got mixed up. And the happy upper door, now the unhappy upper door had turned up with the lower happy face at someone. So that's the farmhouse I'm approaching when I see Pippa Middleton. I think we'll move on. I will come back to this though, because I think he's wrong, Karl, in so many ways.
Frank Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Is there anyone out there, by the way? Because I always think, Steve, that our readers are like our listeners are better than Google. They know everything.
Okay.
This thing that the very lovely Victoria Pendleton one, it's called the Kieran.
Yes, why has this come into play, the old Kieran?
And today's events are the Nathan and the Gavin. They're all slightly modern names that you don't like much.
Yeah.
The Kieran.
I thought that was odd as well.
Have you ever seen the Madison, that cycle race?
No.
It's the most impossible to judge. Some people ride round and they say, oh, that's great for the Uruguayans. Then some more people, oh, gold medal for Italy. And yet no idea what's happened at all. No idea. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, we've had some texts in. 202, you were sort of workshopping that numbers joke with Trace, friend of the show, Tracy Emin.
Yeah, the root of this was the joke, what did the 0 say to the 8? Nice belt.
202, Lynette in Civilian Life.
Steve laughed at that joke. And
I like the way you read it like a newsreader, the way you just come down on the end of it.
Well, because now
a belt.
Now it's become an academic thing because we're working on it, and the listeners have joined in. I thought they might.
It's a live workshop. Lynette says, "What did the 10 say to the 1?"
10 say to 1. Dunno.
You've lost a lot of weight recently.
10 say to the 1. Okay.
Do you get it? Can I explain it?
I think what
Because the 0's gone.
What did the 1 say to the 8 when the 10 went past?
I can't even begin to think of
What did the
that
one-
scenario.
Listen, what did the 1 say to the 8 when the
Where's
10...
the 8?
Listen,
The
just
8?
wait a minute. What did the 1 say to the 8 when the 10 walked past? Well, he's done well.
Punching above his weight.
That fat bloke's done well.
That's actually right. It was
That
harder to
wasn't
understand
the
than...
end
Yeah.
of Lynette's joke. So what did the 10 say to the 1? You've lost a lot of weight recently.
Yeah, but the weight is separate. It's a separate entity,
my
the
God,
0.
how
I'm sorry.
pedantic are
I'm sorry,
you?
Lynette. No, just keep working.
What did
that.
the 1 say back?
Dunno.
So have you, but who's your fat friend? Now, that's okay. If you lose the initial
Yeah, but they're
bit-
the same weight. The 2 1s are the same
God,
weight.
you are so harsh on other people's numbers jokes when it comes
you
to
should
your
hear,
own.
should hear Tracy Emin on my versions.
You've got 8
She was
wandering
scathing.
past.
Here's one for you, Frank. This will cleanse your palate. Why was 6 scared?
Why was 6 scared? I don't know.
Because 7, 8, 9. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enjoyable.
That sounds like it was already a joke.
Number cannibalism.
Yeah,
I like your sort of grudging respect. You nodded, Frank.
I
You went, yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's good. 1 met 11 is your friend. Okay. So,
We were also talking about...
Oh, that's a good one.
we were talking... Go on, Steve.
It's from 437. What did 8 say to the 3?
You're half the man you used to be. No.
Well,
No.
that's almost as good.
Go on. Go on. What do you think?
It's actually better.
What do you think?
That is better.
Go on.
It's basically what did 8 say to the 3? Ooh, that must have hurt.
That's good.
That is good. And I threw
That's
some
good.
acting in as well. That's how much I believed it.
Okay.
Okay.
What did the
So-
1 say to the 7?
you were throwing, and then the 5 was walking
Nice.
past cooking an omelette.
No, nice umbrella.
Yeah, that kind of works. Nice baseball cap. you know.
1 to the T. Would it be 1 to the capital T? The 1 to the capital T. Right. Okay. So,
God, there's letters in there now.
no, I know. Well, yeah, that's all right, I think.
Is it? You're mixing your mediums.
I am.
Sorry, can we just briefly go
Derek
back to-
Acora. I'm mixing up with, who's the other one? Graham... What's he called?
Oh, is
Martin... Something Fry.
that Martin Chuzzlewit. Oh, no.
Martin Chuzzlewit. Exactly.
Frank,
Yes.
can we go back...
What is it?
Can we briefly step
What
into...
are you talking about? That's just if you imagine I was off one week and a Dalek sat in for me. This is a Dalek on Absolute Radio. I think it'd be all right for the first 5 minutes, but then you'd think, oh, I don't know if I can cope with a Dalek much more. What else is on?
Can we...
And now it's overdue. Zora Solomon with the travel. Right, I think, okay. All right, no, leave it now. Switch it off. Anyway, where were we?
Could we briefly just step back into Lagerfeld Corner again?
Oh, yes.
Because I was interested to hear your views. We know what Carl thinks about Pippa and Kate. He's left no ambiguity as far as that goes.
I think they're both attractive women. I think Pippa has got something... She's got a lovely, shiny face, Pippa.
Pippa.
Yeah. Don't you find that? If you were
shiny.
looking... Say if the bulb went in the garage at night... If you live near Pippa, you could say, Pippa, can you just come and have a look in our garage? I'm just looking...
You reflect some moonlight.
yeah, I'm just looking for a bit of antifreeze. And she'd have just come in and...
Yeah.
Yeah. What I don't think, though, I do not agree with the whole Pippa Middleton amazing bomb thing. That's an invention. I think it's perfectly fine, but it's not not really an amazing...
No.
It's not. I don't want to be... not the Emperor's clothes. I don't want to be the party organiser's bomb.
Yeah,
kid.
but you say that as someone who's won Rear of the Year, don't you?
Exactly. So don't talk to me about behinds.
I wasn't planning on it.
No. Well, you did say to me earlier that a woman has to choose as she gets older between her
do.
behind and her face.
You do. Which are you going to sacrifice?
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
I think-
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Text in
I
and let
must
us
say,
know.
I must say, I've made that choice a few times myself.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Frank, what did 4 say to 3? Nice bum. Do you understand?
Stunned into silence.
Oh, that's because in sequence,
Yes.
3's rounded areas will
It's a
be
bit
quite...
Kardashian 3.
No, what would have
is,
been better
yeah.
is, what did 1 say to 4? That is a big nose. That works, doesn't it?
You,
Absolute
if
shock.
I was you, I
Oh my
think your
God,
big mistake then was by starting that with saying what would be even better. What you meant was what's not quite as good is... okay. Just Jessica Ennis is on the telly every 2 minutes. What's going on? And her stomach looks like... have you ever sat on a nice leather Chesterfield?
Yes.
That's what her stomach looks like. It looks like it's been upholstered
Yes.
with studs to keep the...
Lovely.
Hey, Frank, we've had a tweet in as well. It's spelt Kieran, about Kieran, the cycling racing. It's spelt Kieran, Kierin, and is Japanese for racing wheels, where it originated.
But surely you could call any cycling race that then. Where racing wheels are... Surely
Used.
Yeah.
But that's what it's called, Kieran.
Kieran, okay. And what about the Madison?
Madison, they haven't come back on yet.
No.
They're still thinking.
Yeah.
They haven't come back
That's
on yet.
all very well.
I thought that's quite optimistic that they do know. I just put my faith in the audience.
Oh, no, they'll know. Don't worry about that. They know everything.
Frank, just talk about me for a minute. You may notice I'm looking rather tanned. I haven't told you about my Florida trip. Well, I won't tell you about the whole trip because that's more boring than listening to people's problems, listening to people's holiday stories.
But where in the league table is listening to people's dreams.
Oh, that's awful.
Yes.
That's unacceptable.
Yes. Or people's very happy relationships. Forget about it.
Or people saying, I'm just so lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, go away.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I was telling Tanya Snogs just that the other night from the red carpet.
Has she got in her taxi?
I'm so
and left?
blessed.
And she getting a taxi, I think she...
And walked home in the rain.
I think she had a...
Oh,
She's so lovely, actually.
very lovely,
She
snuggly.
is snuggly. I want to
She is
snuggle her.
snuggly, I know.
I don't mean, if anyone's listening, I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean in
No.
an affectionate way. Carry on.
But Frank, the holiday itself was lovely. It didn't get off to the most auspicious start, though. I won't lie. It started when I was queuing, so I'm checking in my bag, and there was a
At the
lady.
airport?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a lady
She
looking
went
at
by
me.
boat.
Well, I did some-
Florida.
David Bowie gets the QE2 across the Atlantic. That doesn't exist anymore, does it?
No, but he gets. He
The
travels.
one time I met him, he told me he'd come over on the QE2 and watched a lot of DVDs in his cabin.
He probably doesn't like flying. He might have a Dennis Bergkamp thing. Some of them do.
I said to him, is your eye all right? Anyway, carry on.
Those teeth knew. You said that as well. So anyway, so this woman in the queue's looking at me.
He picked
And-
up a quoits injury on the way over. Sorry, woman in queue.
She's looking at me. And you know when someone's staring at you, and I broke, Frank, I got irritated. I said yes. I said yes.
Did
I
you?
sometimes
Oh.
do that, yeah.
This is when I say something like this, Emily goes, oh, oh. Okay.
And she looked at me and she said, oh, I was just wondering where you got your shoes. They're really beautiful.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
nice.
bet you flipped then,
I
though.
felt awful.
Yeah.
I was mortified, and then I felt humbled, which put me in an even worse mood, that I'd been forced to feel humbled.
What I like about it is a lot of people will travel in a jogging pants and maybe a Birkenstock. Clearly
Not
not
me.
the case
Yes.
with Emily.
Louboutins. Then, Frank, so I just got over that indignity, I'm going to call it, having to feel humbled, just settling down, and then I see the child. I'm going to call him Satan Jr. Lil Satan, let's call him.
Oh, no. How old was he about?
I'd say approximately 5 years old.
Okay.
I know how old he was, and you'll find out why soon. He had that what I call movie star child hair, very blonde and spiky. It looked like it had product on it. A lot of Ralph Lauren clothes.
What did the 5 say to the 6, by the way?
What?
You at your back? Carry on.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
He was a monster. He was doing handstands. He was screaming. He was American as well. Mommy, I want to go on plane.
Well, he sounds like a pleasure, doesn't he?
He was awful. So I witnessed him behaving like this.
Yeah.
I nearly said something for about 20 minutes, and I thought, this is unbearable. I got on the plane. I sat down. I had my glass of champagne. Lovely. Put my feet up. Lovely.
Ryanair, was it?
Suddenly, I hear the voice again. Mommy, are we at the front of the plane?
Oh, no, he was the steward. Oh, he wasn't. Was he in the vicinity?
Was he in the vicinity? He was sitting next to me.
Oh, no!
I think we'll take a break there.
Absolute
Absolute
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, Frank,
No. Yes.
you're with me. I'm on the plane, setting off to Florida. I've already encountered Lil Satan in the departure lounge. Then, to my horror, I'm sitting there having my champagne, and who should pop up next to me but Lil Satan?
Oh, dear.
I heard the voice. Mommy! Mommy!
Yeah.
He sits down. Oh, the look I gave him. If you'd have seen it, Frank, the look I gave him had no impact.
Mommy, that lady looked at me like she wants me to die.
As we
like
start
that?
taking off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh my! This is going to go on. And then he didn't stop. He didn't get to 1 and finish it. He started again. 10, 9, 13, 18,
And then
12.
he counted the journey. 1, 2, 3, 4. God.
Across the Atlantic.
Oh,
he was
man.
unspeakable. I want a hamburger. Oh, we can't eat right now, honey. Just a second. We can't eat right now. I want a burger.
You
I have to
see,
say, you were fantastic at playing both parts.
I have to
it
say,
really is good.
it was
Really?
like sitting next to Elton John.
can I say that Emily has got like an outfit in 2 halves. She turns one way and there's half a baseball cap and a
then a
T-shirt with Charlie Brown on.
And then the other half is a Republican wife hairdo. Then, when they bring the sweets round as well when we were taking off, oh, can you imagine his dirty little fist went in there, took them all. I want all of them. By the end, I put my headphones
He's
on.
kind of the America in microcosm.
He really was.
I want a burger, I want everything.
Yeah. He wanted to play his Nintendo 3DS. He wasn't allowed because we were taking off. I want to play it. That poor mother. Eventually...
I wish you wouldn't. You can't call him that. This is not a hip-hop song. I feel sorry for that poor mother.
I didn't... Towards the end, there was a little sister as well who was rather nicer. And when the mother went to the loo, irresponsible, she said, but who's going to look after us? And I felt rather sorry for her.
Did they both look at you at that point?
They did, a bit searchingly. So I felt sorry for them. But I still hated him. He was awful.
You see, when I used to travel on trains in the 1980s, I would often drink a bottle of Pernod to myself out from the bottle. And I find that gives you at least a double seat either side free. So maybe you should try that.
It's harder sometimes in the cabin, I
Especially
find.
with children. What about if you'd read 50 Shades of Grey whilst eating a cucumber, but without ever breaking the skin? I think that would have probably done it. It sounds like a terrible experience.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we had a few texts in, and as I suggested, trust the audience and they'll deliver. Apparently Madison is named after, as in the cycling race, Madison is named after where it was first run, Madison Square Gardens in New York. Mommy, I want a hamburger.
That's
As they say.
Robbie Fowler's daughter is called Madison, I'm just saying.
So, there was a dance called the Madison, which, dun, 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 dun. Carry on. Carry on.
We've also had numerous texts and tweets in about...
Numerous? About... I would actually say it's gone into infinity, the amount of texts we've had. They love these number things.
Yeah, poor
What have you
old
started?
Emily is not really a numbers person.
I'm really
A
not.
fine trail of smoke from each ear.
It's making me panic. This is men's work.
Give us one at random.
Okay.
From 069, what did the 1 say to the 2 when the 11 went past?
Already I don't understand it.
Go on.
What did the 1 say to the 2?
I'm still worrying about the 069. I hope that's not part of this joke.
What did the 1 say to the 2 when the 11 went past? Should they be able to marry in church? Is it causing a lot of pauses?
just
these
say-
texts,
I
don't
can't
they?
work out if it's racist or homophobic.
It's homophobic. I'll
Okay.
clarify
Can I
that.
just say, there's someone who's texting in repeatedly, 985, has just sent in a load of variations. Talking about binaries, and I think he might be... I just think he might be on the spectrum. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Tim Berners-Lee has sent in an actual lever arch file.
How about, what did 4 say to 5?
Dunno.
Your TV shows are rubbish.
Oh.
See, I got a laugh.
Yeah.
That one
Glad
works.
you didn't just text that to Frank. That would be awful.
Yeah, exactly. But and I didn't read the first bit. Oh, no. Must be my agent.
So, Frank, how was didn't you have your little trip recently?
I went to the Cambridge Folk yeah. I went to the Cambridge
CFF.
Folk Festival.
Oh, nice.
Love it there.
It was lovely. I'll tell you something. I watched a complete day of live folk music, and the next day I felt like I'd been cleansed.
Yeah.
I felt like a happier, cleaner, and better person. There's a little bit of...
Was it a good festival?
It's terrible. No, of course, obviously. Would I say that if it was...
No, but I mean, like, you get
No,
that
it
from
was
music,
brilliant.
would
I had a fabulous time. And they're changing Folk Festival. I didn't see
they?
one dog in a neckerchief. All day long.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I'm still at the Cambridge... I'm not at the Cambridge Folk Festival, but that's what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, as I say, it was brilliant.
Well, it must be quite relaxing as a festival.
Yeah, but now I sense you think it's just dull old music. It's all changing. There was a lot of, like... I went to see... A few weeks ago on this show, I played a guy called King Charles, a single called Bright Lights. And so he was on in his tiny little tent, and I thought I'd go and watch that. Everyone else was, like, 18.
Hang on, define tiny tent. 2-man? What are we talking?
No. It probably held.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
I'll put it this way, I had to be outside the tent, and all I saw for the entire gig was his left hand going up and down a fretboard. So I don't know what he looks like. But there was lots of very attractive, young, very trendily dressed girls watching him. I think that those kind of new folk... they're sort of boy bands for girls who can read.
It's a bit Mumford and Sons, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got that. It's Mumfordian.
It's so Mumfordian.
In many, many ways. But, yeah, and I sat with my back against a tree, which I don't know if you know, Steve, is one of my favourite things.
Oh, is it?
Oh, very Isaac Newton.
I love, yeah.
Love it.
There's something brilliant about feeling bark against your back.
Oh, I've never been a fan.
He's been chased by a lot of police dogs.
I used to deliberately sleep with people with impetigo. Just for that very feel. So,
So there was a tree in the tent, or...?
No, there was a tree near the tent, so I sat...
That's nice, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. It was a beautiful... If only the world could be like the Cambridge Folk Festival, then everything would be fine. But I was at the hotel, and there was a middle-aged Japanese couple having breakfast with me the next day, and there was an older English couple looking at them very much in a we haven't forgotten kind of way. You know, the old prisoner of war grudge.
Yeah.
And the Japanese man was eating a bowl of cereal with a knife and fork.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
I've never seen that before. See, once you take the chopsticks off them, all bets are off.
You say that, but I went to Wagamama's with my auntie who came up from Wales, and I told her she couldn't eat it with a knife and fork. She had to use chopsticks, and she had one chopstick in each hand.
Very lovely. What a lovely story of the Welsh abroad. I'll tell you what, though, I went to see the Onthank sisters with the Brighouse and Rastrick Brass Band.
What?
That's the name of the group.
Yeah, and they had a hit. Do you remember they had a hit with the floral dance?
No.
Oh, no, I know the safety dance.
Yeah, it went a bit like this.
Oh, she's a great...
I did know this.
And they played this live, and I cried. I don't know what. There's a bit when they stood up, and I just cried because they'd stood up. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah.
Something brilliant about it. You know when a song creeps up on you? I don't know if it's ever been played on Absolute before. Yeah, I know. I realise there's people listening to this thinking, hey, where's Nickelback? But,
talking of music, we had a brilliant text in from 824. I love you, Frank, but I also love hip-hop. A bit of Will Smith, please.
Oh, you like the real heavy stuff.
Frank, we've had some texts in from our lovely listeners. Firstly, you know, we were talking about how listening to people's dreams was more boring than listening to their problems.
It's unbearable.
It's unbearable.
It is.
238. Frank, I dreamt that we were in a pub in Peckham and I was stroking your hair and it was so soft. That's it.
It is lustrous. It's not as far-fetched as you think. That's lovely. Who's that from?
That's from 238.
Okay.
Sex, unidentified.
No, okay.
So,
To be honest, I don't care. If I'm back in a pub, I won't care about the species.
We also had a text from 952. Can you play Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy for Nathan at the King's Arms in Exeter? 2 questions. 1, are you some kind of mobile DJ? And 2, who's drinking at 9:30 in the morning?
Yeah, and also I'm actually cycling in the Nathan this afternoon. No, I can't because we don't do requests of any kind. What if I strayed from the absolute playlist, well, apart from my own choices, I would be struck down.
do you think you're some aka-laka-laka boom type DJ? Everybody walk that dinosaur?
Maybe I'll stop wearing this baseball cap with the clapping hands operated by strings. That's my mistake.
Frank, also there's an apology I'd like to make.
Okay.
And this is to Paul Hadsley. Hello, Paul. Who follows us on Twitter. He made that rather fine joke, what did 4 say to 5? Your TV shows are rubbish. And then he tweeted to say, yay, one of my jokes read on Frank on Absolute. No name check, though. Maybe I should have left a number. I'll be 447 if it helps. It does help, thank you.
A bit sulky.
Thank
I'm going
you
to say that Steve read it out, so...
I did.
Yeah. Hence,
We've been let down.
my drawing attention
So, Steve, how many Olympic events you going to this week?
Well, I've got the football. I'm hoping to...
Frank hates that.
Why do you hate the football?
I love football, as you know.
Yeah.
Olympic football is me utterly cold. I don't know why. I watched the first Great Britain game, and I thought, I really don't care at all about this. At all. And I mean, I'm watching things like horses dancing and thinking, brilliant if we can get a bronze here. And the football is just awful.
I agree.
I can't watch the tennis either.
I totally agree.
They don't feel very Olympic.
They feel watered down versions, and that's why I don't like it.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Diluted. Don't dilute. We've got Roger and Andy. I don't want to see that. I've seen that.
You're right.
You know.
It's like Birds of a Feather on tour. I want the real thing if I'm going to...
Well, you've got one of the cast members here, sitting with you, Dorian.
Can I say I'd never heard of Eton Dorney before this week.
What's Eton Dorney?
Eton Dorney's where all the rowing's been going.
Oh, yeah, the rowing venue.
Where else are you going, Steve? Anywhere else?
Eton Dorney.
Eton Dorney.
Football? Any others?
Football. I'm hoping to go to some track events. But,
Oh, yeah? What do you mean you're hoping to?
Because tickets are hard to come by.
Not for you, it seems.
Well, yeah, you're kidding.
Not for the glitterati, is it?
I'm in the lane tomorrow.
What?
You're
I'm
saying?
actually in the lane on the way to the stadium.
You're not?
Yeah, I'm in
How did you
I'm
get
in the
in the
Olympic
lane?
lane.
How
No,
you d-
I'm just going to get in and drive as fast as I can. No, I've actually got a BBC car
You haven't?
that can go in the lane. Can you imagine
Oh,
that?
Wow.
fine.
Brilliant.
It'd be great if you see your friend from the party that you want to leave behind. Beep, beep.
No, it's not everyone goes in the lane. To me, it's part of the whole Olympic experience, going in there.
Oh, it's going to be
Yeah, for
fabulous.
5 people.
Yeah, so honestly, what are we going to do when the Olympics stops? I'm not... It's
I
just
don't
my
know.
life. It's
I'm
my-
depressed already in
absolutely my life.
anticipation of
I'm
it.
going to wear Nicorette patches.
Okay.
I just think that'll help us.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
I'm gonna date a gold medalist. That's my challenge.
If Jessica Ennis wins gold today,
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm going to grate cheese on her stomach, put it in a packet and send it to Steve Williams just to wind him up. If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this same time next week. Goodbye.
Absolute
Absolute.
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.